Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
Welcome back to the Mel K Show, my good friend, and I think the absolute best of the best business coaches one could ever hope for is back with us today. That is Clay Clark. How you doing, my friend? How's it going?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm very excited about a lot of things, and what I wanted to hone in on today's show, Mel, is this idea of persistence. I know that you live it. You own it. That's what you do. That's what I do. If I had to pick an animal mascot, it would be the honey badger. A honey badger primarily derives its diet by eating bee larvae. So they get stung by bees all the time, and snakes. So they get bit all the time, but they somehow survive. It's a honey badger. It's worth looking up, folks, the honey badger. But I believe what happens, Mel, is, we have this upcoming Reawaken reunion event we're going to do. And for anybody who wants to get tickets, by the way, you pull it up. I'll put it on the website right now. You go to timetofreeamerica.com. You go there, and I think people say, wow, I love those events. I loved Mel. I love seeing Roseanne. I love seeing Jim Brewer. I love General Flynn. And, you as an attendee might look at it and go, I love that. But I want to peel it back behind the curtain today and let people see kind of what goes into that kind of thing. So we've got this upcoming event, June 19th and 20th. But, Mel, we've already had to change venues 4 times.
I can't believe it.
It is not even Christmas, and we've had to change venues 4 times. So if you go to timetofreeamerica.com, this is our 4th venue I'm switching to, And that's for the June 19th and 20th event. It's in June 19th of 2026. And what is this event that is so threatening? This is called The Truth. We've got General Flynn, we've got Eric Trump, we've got Mel K, we've got Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer, Dr. Stella, so many great faces. But I want people to understand this idea. If you get nothing else out of today's show, your success is on the other end of a lot of no's. I repeat, your success is on the other end of a lot of no's. So if it bothered me even 1% that the major university that told me I could host the event there changed their mind, if it bothered me by even 1%, we couldn't have the events. And then a big church that called me said, hey, we love you, we would love to host you, and we can't. If that would have bothered me, think about it. If it would have bothered me at all, even a little, and I'm not just exaggerating this, I'm really meaning this. I'm trying to help somebody get this idea. If rejection bothers you at all, you cannot be successful. At all. Like if there's any part of you that marinates and stews on it and laments. Mel, think about your career in Hollywood. You did so well in Hollywood, writing, producing. How many times did you get told straight up, I'm not going to use your services. You're not the right fit. How many rejections did you get for every yes, Mel? What do you think?
Well, I started auditioning for Broadway around 17. So, and I spent, probably, I would say several thousand. Because, the more you go out, the more you get rejected. There's only one role, for everyone. And that's on everything, because then as I got older and studied film, and then, you're raising money for films and it's getting there and it looks great. And then it falls apart. I mean, dozens, hundreds of times. So from 16 to my age now, I would say well over 1,000 rejections for things that I really wanted or thought were going to happen or did happen and fell apart. That's the road you take when you decide that you're going to take the risk of trying to follow your heart, no matter where it leads.
Now I'm going to say this. I mean this, folks. When I went to college early. So I went to St. Cloud State during high school. So I was going to high school. I basically graduated early. In Minnesota, you can go to college early. A lot of states you can do that. So I'm going to college early. And I know it sounds crazy for a 17-year-old man to think this way, but I'm like, I shall have 5 kids. Oh, yes, this is a lighter I'm using as a pointer today for some reason. But I shall have 5 kids. Oh, yes. And I'm going to build successful companies. It's going to happen. I shall have 5 kids, and I'm going to marry somebody who appreciates humor. It's going to happen. I can't be around people that everything's so serious and so heavy and just, I can't do it. So what I did, and this is not a dating show, but I'm just telling you what I did, and it worked out well for me. We've been married 25 years. I'm like, I'll go on a date with anybody that I think it might be a good fit for lunch, but I am getting out of there within moments if it's not working. I'm going to do lunch. I'll be really nice about it, but I'm going to do lunch. So I remember my roommate at the time, he's like, dude, you have gone on like 30 dates in our first semester. And I'm like, yeah, I might go on more. Who knows? I mean, you don't know. But I can tell you this, if the person does not want to have 5 kids and they don't appreciate humor and they're not upbeat, they don't have good energy, if they're just not a kind person, I've seen life where people, and I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm not going to, and at the same time, I'm cold calling through the phone book, trying to build my DJ company, starting with no leads. I'm literally alphabetically calling through the yellow pages. And what was hilarious, Mel, is I started getting traction as I was building my first company, DJconnection.com. Most of my Christmas parties that I DJ'd in 1999 and 2000, their business niche started with an A. And you say, why? Because the yellow pages are sorted alphabetically. So I was DJing for like every automotive repair shop, seriously, aviation repair, banks. I never got to C. All of the clients were A through C, like A through B. And so apartment complexes. And so my DJs who worked for me, they go, why do we DJ like every apartment complex in Tulsa? Like, why do we DJ only for automotive repair shops? Why do we only work for banks? Like, what is that all about? I mean, and it got so crazy that there's a thing called the Tulsa Zenith Awards. It's the Oklahoma Zenith Awards. They give away an award for the best apartment complex in Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri, and it's called the Zenith Awards. And the Zenith Awards asked me to MC their annual gala with thousands of people because nobody had DJ'd more apartments than me. And what am I saying? It's just alphabetically speaking, you got to start with what you got, right? You got to move. And I think there's somebody out there that's trying to overthink that, over spiritualize that. And so what I did for this venue we're going to go to, I called Pastor Jackson. I said, Pastor Jackson, we're going to have another Reawaken reunion. I called Mel. Mel's down. Okay. Mel, you know this, we're kind of getting the band together. I'm getting the foundation built here. I said, General Flynn wants to do it. Eric wants to do it. Mel K wants to do it. We're getting the band back together. And if I have a venue that bails, do you know of any options? He said, I'll tell you what, I know some options. And Jackson can vouch for this story. So we call this major university, hard pass. They won't do it. They said,
what is the reason? I need to understand what is this because of all the smears online?
In their contract, if we talk about anything related to medical information that goes against established standards, is what the language said, then they reserve the right to shut down the event at a moment's notice. It's in the contract. So I'm going, we can't do that because we're gonna have Dr. Stella, we're gonna have myself. You know how it is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's not gonna happen. We're not gonna. So we're not gonna push mRNA modifying nanotechnology. So then we go to the next place. They bail. Their whole thing is, well, it's a reputational risk to the church. You know how it is. Then we go to another place. I'm not trying to get sued or slander.
I can't believe it. It's
we
at
go to one
this
place.
point, people don't understand what we were doing.
And I'll tell you this, Matt.
Mattered.
This is a true story. In my office, when COVID happened, I had people that had worked for me for like 10 years. And I think all of them left except for 3 people, maybe 4. So like Andrew was
shut down.
Yeah, they've just lost their minds because I wouldn't allow my staff to wear a mask, and they couldn't handle it. Like employees would come to work with a mask, and I'm like, you can't be a mask hole. And they're like, a mask? I said, you can't do it. And so you can't wear a mask. You can't, we're not going to socially distance. So it caused me to be distanced from a lot of people. But anyway, so I called Pastor Jackson. I said, Pastor Jackson, we are getting, canceled again. It looks like, could we host the event at your church? And Pastor Jackson's like, well, if we knock out all of the non-load bearing walls, yes, we could do it. So Pastor Jackson, I'm not kidding. He's literally renovating his entire church to make it work. So we're going back to Tulsa. So I guess we started at Tulsa and we'll end at Tulsa. But Mel, if I or you had any part of our brain that took rejection and allowed that infection of rejection to cause us to get to lament, and I'm not talking about folks being unemotionally aware. I'm just saying, if we let it cause momentum, guys, nothing would get done. And I'm trying to help somebody out there, Mel, and you've had some great mentors too. What do you say? And then I'll get into specific step-by-step stuff in a minute. But what do you say to somebody who's like, I tried to be successful, but I got rejected, and now I'm just going to settle, and I'm going to have a boring job that I hate, or settle for a mediocre business. What do you say, Mel?
Well, I always kind of go by what I've done, but I understand that there's a real need that's deeply ingrained in people to be liked, to be to be fit in, to do that. I've never had that problem, but I think from a very young age, I think just our society, school, everything, you want to conform, you want to be part of it, you want to do that. So that's why, because what you're talking about and what I've done, what you've done, it's not only not being okay with a rejection, it's also being okay with failing, taking a risk. So failure averse from the day we start, our lives, but it's certainly in the school system, you just want to get that A, you just want to fit in, you want to make the team, you want to do that. So anything that you do that that is kind of a risk, becomes like, well, I won't even take the risk because I don't want to fail. I don't want the rejection. My dad always told me, because he was a big risk taker too. He always said that quote from Rocky, where it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up and keep moving forward. You got to remember the keep moving forward part of it's not how many times you get knocked down, but you have to take every knockdown. And I could never have done what I did. I remember when I called my parents and I said, I'm moving to LA. It was around that time, 1998, 1997. And my parents were like, what are you talking about? I said, no, I'm going to go. And even my mentor that I still had when I left was like, no, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. I'm like, I have an opportunity. I have a job, I have a place to stay. I'm going. And everyone in my life was like, no, you're not. And I just packed up and I stopped listening to people. And then I was like, hey, I'm here. So,
I want
to take the risk.
I want to share this picture here, Mel. This is something that Dr. Z and I did during COVID. So this was a picture of us, it says no mask holes allowed. And it was like, if our mayor's going to shut us down, we'll just sue the mayor and keep our city open. They still have to respond to the injunction or something. And it really bothered people that we would not allow our employees to wear masks. Like it was so divisive. It was so crazy.
Well, I understand at the time that would be, but I hope that they all now. Well, that's the problem with how could anyone not support the Reawaken tour, because they must not know what we were doing there. They must believe the Media Matters and all the spin, because what you're doing there is empowering people with facts that better their lives and give them the opportunity to help other people realize that they had been lied to and deceived. There was no evidence for the mask or social distancing or lockdowns, none. It was a total psychological operation. I'm proud of us that we did it anyway.
I just remember when my wife and we were at Mar-a-Lago with you for a dinner gala thing, and my wife was laughing so much because you and I were seated next to each other at dinner, and my wife was like, yeah. I'm so glad you found Mel and Mel found you, because you guys find all these things amusing, and most people are a little bit uncomfortable with having everyone in the room hate them, but you guys don't care. And so I'm like, well, that's kind of what we're doing
in elementary school.
Yeah, well, I want to pull up this next picture here. Okay, so we'll get into some detailed stuff. I'm trying to show some examples. This guy here to the right, this is Ryan Tedder. He is the #1 song writer of the past 20 years, objectively, in terms of #1 songs. Okay, and I'm not saying that I agree with the songs he writes, but if you've heard of Sam Smith, you've heard of Ryan Tedder, Taylor Swift, Ryan Tedder, U2, Ryan Tedder, Lil Nas X, Ryan Tedder, just Tate, the new Tate, Tate's album, all of it's Ryan Tedder. And Ryan Tedder, One Republic, Ryan Tedder. So what Ryan did, and this is a true story, I'm going to show it on the screen here. Ryan Tedder was all about cold calling. So Ryan used to cold call everybody. And so CNBC back in the day, they interviewed him about this, and he would just cold call anybody to get opportunities. And it didn't bother him that rejection was a thing. So this is from CNBC back in the day, an article. This is in 2019. Says, One Republic's Ryan Tedder shares the cold calling strategy that launched his career in music. Ryan Tedder is the songwriter behind the One Republic song Too Late to Apologize, Beyonce's Halo, the producer of NBC's Songland. But before the Grammy-winning songwriter and recording artist, Ryan Tedder was a college student hunting for an internship, trying to figure out what he wanted to do professionally. I knew I wanted to go into film, music, or TV. I was kind of obsessed over the three. And he goes on to explain, he would literally call the customer service line on the back of CDs. So you have it when you bought CDs back in the day, there was a line that said, for customer service, call this number. So he would call the number and he would say, excuse me, I got misconnected. I was trying to set up an internship. And he kept cold calling and kept calling. Anyway, long story short, he ends up interning for Timbaland. Now, for people who don't know, Timbaland is the guy behind Timberlake. So all the Timberlake songs people like, that's Timbaland. So the entire Sexy Back album, people might think of just in Nelly Furtado. It was a sound that was relevant for about 10 years. All the Timbaland music, that was all Missy Elliott. And so Ryan worked at Pottery Barn for free while working for Timbaland. So he's working at Pottery Barn. That's his job, while working for Timbaland for free. So again, I might have misspoke. He worked for Timbaland for free while working at the Pottery Barn. And I remember so many people were going, dude, when are you going to get a real job? Like, you work for free for Timbaland, like totally free. You don't get paid anything at all. And then one day, a song came out called Too Late to Apologize. And it said Timbaland featuring One Republic. And all of a sudden, that's the #1 song in America. But from the time of when I started this story until that's the hit song, I believe it was 8 years of working for free and grinding. And now when you look up the Billboard Top 40, I want people to see his catalog of songs for a second. He's pretty much the top 40. So if you type in Ryan Tedder, songs, song list, it's the most crazy list of all time. You say, what songs has he done? So you look at Beyonce,
oh my God,
Maroon 5, Leona Lewis, Adele. Adele, everyone says, Adele, I love her songs. He wrote them. I mean, it's what he does. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And he keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. But this guy, he actually cold called. So Ryan Tedder, there's articles written about this. He's done interviews. He told me in college, he said, I will write a song for U2 and I will write a song for Paul McCartney. I am going to write songs for Paul McCartney and U2. But I'm like, for U2, I'm going, you would actually cold call? You're going to do this? I mean, because it's wild when you hear someone saying these things. And Forbes wrote an article about it, but he cold calls Bono. To this day, the top songwriter in America cold calls people. So what he'll do is he'll write the song and he'll say, hey, I wrote a song. It's in your key. It's in your range. I think you would love it. Here you go. And so the EXO song, it's Beyonce. It's called EXO, an unbelievable song. And Beyonce said, I'll do it. And Ryan just said in an interview the other day, he goes, I kind of wish I would have kept that one because that one's a really good one. Or Halo, he's like, I kind of wish I would have kept that. But what I'm saying is the top songwriter in America, Mel, to this day, cold calls. And I think there's somebody out there, Mel, and maybe I'm not communicating it with enough passion, but there's somebody out there, you want to start a Reawaken tour kind of thing. You want to be a songwriter, and you think that the world's going to come to you so that you can mentally overcome the idea that you don't want rejection. And it's not going to happen, Mel. You got to push through the rejection.
Yeah, I knew very early that there was no overnight success in my world, which is film, television, even the acting world. It's well known that it's 10 years to an overnight success, which is why most people don't make it in that business, or at least in the model that I was in that, you know, is falling apart now. But, you know, it was either go to LA or New York, and most people could do it for like 2 years because the rejection is so bad and it's really hard to keep going. Me, I did the same thing a little bit as him. I interned at MTV and a whole bunch of different Tribeca Films, a lot of places for free, 3 days a week. And I went to school 2 days a week, and I worked at night. That for 3 years in New York until I got up and I moved to LA. So, you know, I get it. That's what it takes. But as I've always said, if you follow your dream or pursue something that is risky, you need to also at the same time make sure that you're stable some way in financially. And then, of course, it matters who's around you, because I had a very stable, amazing support system with my family and my sisters, thank God. So I always had a team.
Now, I want someone to really get this idea. I want someone to really, because I want to move on, but I can't move on until we get this idea. The rejection is a prerequisite to success. All right. Teaching moment number two. Teaching moment number two coming in hot. This is from my mentor, Michael Levine, who, by the way, will be speaking at the upcoming event. You're going to love this guy. I promise when you're around Michael Levine, he's the most theatrical person that I have met. Every conversation he has, he kind of has a whimsical way of talking where he'll say, Clay, I mean, when you talk to him just conversationally, he has a whimsical way. And you say, who's Michael Levine? I want everyone to look him up. Michael Levine. Okay. Yeah. This is the PR consultant for, I shall read the list, Michael Jackson. What? Right. Prince. What? Nike. Huh? Pizza Hut. Okay. Charlton Heston. What? Barbara Streisand. He's like the Michael Jordan of PR. This is him. And so I'll never forget, I was paying him $25,000 to mentor me at his place. I'm paying him $25,000 to mentor me for a half day. That's what I paid. I paid $25,000. And by the way, folks, you don't have to pay $25,000. You just go to thrivetimeshow.com and you go right here. And it's going to be Anaheim. It's December 4th and 5th. Michael Levine will be there. Eric Trump will be there. You're going to be there. Julie Green will be there. Stacy and David Whited, Amanda Grace. It's going to be great. And he will be there. This is my mentor in this area. Okay. He says, I said, and to make the mentorship valuable, by the way, folks, this is what you do. You want to write your questions ahead of time. So I'm sitting down with him and I'm going, Michael, can I ask you, what is the number one issue that keeps people from being super successful? And he said, well, I got a lot of them, but let me go off. So he's stream of consciousness. I'm recording the conversation with his permission. I'm taking notes. And he said to me, he said, Clay, if you're going to be honest, you have to be funny. And I remember thinking, what? And I was just on the phone with somebody right before we hopped on our interview today who has rejected me for 12 consecutive years. This is an A-list athlete who every time I call them, they say no to being on my show. And when someone tells you no for 12 consecutive years, you can either kind of get cantankerous or you can do what Michael Levine says and you can find funny. And so I said, well, hey, if someone cancels, I'm your plan F. I'm your plan D. I'm your plan E. I'm always available. No worries. I try to keep it positive. But Mel, I think if you're a very ambitious person and you don't learn a sense of humor of some kind, you can get really dark really quickly, and you
Yeah.
get kind of you can become like a heavy, grizzled, angry
Yeah.
person. So if you're going to get rejected all the time, you have to find funny. Any thoughts on that, Melanie? Wisdom on finding funny when life is not funny?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's you know, I started out in my main career, my main life in comedy. We were surrounded by comedians, and I you know, it's funny because I spent a couple years with a comedian, and I must have seen him bomb on stage literally because I went to everything. You know, 100 times.
Ooh,
Like,
that's tough.
so in the rooms, yeah. I mean, but that's you can never be a comic ever unless you are fine with rejection, particularly
Yeah.
immediate rejection. I've been in rooms, especially when I was in college. I lived right around the corner. A good friend of mine at the time owned a Boston comedy club, so you know, you hang out there. You see so many people get like no laughs or booed off stage, and you always think, how do they tolerate it? And then the next day they're up again because that's just, I mean, but all things like that. And I think comedy, you know, comedy often comes out of serious stuff. You know, Jim's great at it. He can turn anything into funny, no matter how tragic. And that's just, you know, it's a gift. I think that's a real gift and a skill. But everyone that I've known, and there's been many that are successful comedians, all of them failed nonstop. And they, you know why they succeeded? Is because they thought they were funny. You know, and if nobody laughed in the room, I remember the guy I'm talking about would be like, "Is this funny?" I'd be like, "No, I'm gonna try it anyway."
Right.
So
No, and
that's the biggest one. I think the hardest of all of it to make it in. And now they don't even have college campuses anymore, which was how you honed your skills back in the old comedy days. But I got to tell you, you cannot make it as a comic unless you are absolutely okay with failing regularly to your face from a whole room.
And that's why all my employees that want to become consultants for me, I have them go do sales at our Elephant in the Room haircut chain. So anybody who wants to become a consultant for me, they all have to do sales in the store. We have a men's grooming lounge. You get a little context. It's like haircuts for guys, like a country club for men's hair. And when you're selling a membership and someone says no, you have to be able to process that emotionally in a way where it doesn't bother you. And so what am I saying? There's 5 steps I'm trying to teach everybody on today's show. So first off, if you want to become successful, you have to understand that rejection is a prerequisite to success. Like you have to take Algebra 1 before Algebra 2. Failure is a prerequisite. You have to fail. It's required. It's what happens, okay? Principle number 2, if you're going to be successful, you have to find a way to find funny. If you're going to be honest, you better be funny. You have to find a way to do, you got to do it. Now, the next 3 steps
are able to laugh at yourself. Don't forget that a big part of being funny is being able to laugh at yourself.
Right.
You know?
Well, and I'll just tell you this, I think about Dr. Z. He's been a huge mentor in my life. And Dr. Zellner, we're coming up on Christmas. So every year, this is Dr. Zellner. I'll put a picture of him. Every year, when my dad died of Lou Gehrig's disease, he called me and he said, "Hey, man, can I meet with you?" I said, "Sure." He said, he was dying of Lou Gehrig's disease. And he said, "Hey, do you need a dad?" And I'm going, "Yes." I mean, no one's ever asked me that before or after. And I go, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, sorry, I'm not more impressive, but I'll be your dad." And I'm going,
that's
wow.
Nice.
So he's my business dad. So every year I work on a Christmas gift for him that's over the top and it's funny and it's a thing, but it's every year. And this guy I learn a lot from this guy, but if you talk to him, it's like talking to Michael Levine. They both are like, Clay, rejection is failure is a prerequisite to success. You got to find funny. And Dr. Z is so funny. I was with him when a tornado was about ready to destroy his used, he had the region's largest auto auction. And he says to me, "Clay, I need you to meet me at my house, stat, right away. Meet me." I'm thinking, okay, what are we going to do? The tornado's coming. So I get to his house and I go, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm going to light up a cigar and sip on Lagavulin as I watch the tornado." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "However, for you, I have gotten a girly beverage. I went to the liquor store before they closed it down. And the wind is like, this is like unbelievable tornadic weather. The alarms are going off in Oklahoma. Air raid. People are freaking out. Everyone's calling." And he's going, "I got boxed wine because it's really cheap. So what you're going to do is you're going to sip on this while I smoke a cigar." And now the wind is like so intense. You almost can't light the cigar.
No, it's
and it's just, And I'm going, are you not the least bit stressed? And he's like, well, you know, the Bible talks about how
Right.
heaven and hell and eternity, I believe in that whole thing. So I'm not really stressed out about it, but other people are. And I go, what are you going to do? He's like, there's nothing I can do. I mean, it's a massive multi-million-dollar building. All my cars can be destroyed. I bought a lot of insurance. And there was no stress. And I'm going, you've got to be, and then during this moment of the craziest, when the wind is knocking all the trees over, he goes, we got to find a way to get some good food tonight. I mean, I don't know. What restaurants do you think are still open? Because I bet the ones that are still open are the good ones. So now he becomes like, he's tornado, air raids. He's focused on trying to get a good meal. There's something about that. You know, Jesus in the boat, right? Everyone was freaking out. The waves were getting crazy and Jesus is taking a nap. All I'm saying is you got to find funny. Now, principle number 3, these are all from Michael Levine. I'm just repackaging what he taught me, okay? There's 3 levels. And he'll talk about this at the conference. There's 3 levels, okay? Level number 1, you have to work below market. So you have to recognize, folks, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com right now, for anybody who wants to go there, I'm willing to work below market. I'm a 45-year-old man who's had a lot of success in different things. But you know what? Every event I do, I'm always going to work below market. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you, it's $250 for a ticket to the best business workshop in the planet, objectively. I mean this. I've been to many of them. I've emceed them. I've been asked. I've attended. And it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And you say, what? Folks, listen, I have thousands of case studies, thousands of clients I've worked with. And you know that most of them came as a result of a scholarship ticket? When I track the numbers, it's hilarious to me how many multimillionaires that I work with today that started off as a scholarship. So you can literally name your price. So again, you work below market. And Mel, it's kind of hard when Ryan Tedder goes to Timbaland and says, excuse me, I know that you work with Justin Timberlake and the top artists in the world right now, but Justin Timberlake was massive. And for Ryan to say, I'm willing to work for you for free, which is very low price, it makes it irresistible. And I think if you're watching this show today and you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you're a PR guy, you're an actor, you're an actress, you're a bakery, whatever it is that you are, be willing to work below market. Elephant in the room, our haircut chain. The first haircut's $1. I mean, Dr. Z's Optometry Clinic, it's $99 for the first pair of glasses. Mel, can you talk about that ability of saying, hey, I'll go teach, in your case, spin classes, and I'm going to go work at a restaurant, but I will be willing to work for free or cheap to get your foot in the door in Hollywood.
Oh my God. Wait, my first real win of it was a off-Broadway play for nothing. Usually before you're in the union, and I was in the union in the 90s when you still had to earn it and you couldn't buy in, you had to do as much work as possible. Plus, you don't learn until you're actually doing the actual work. Same thing when I worked at MTV for free. I learned so much more than I would ever learn in a classroom being on the set. And then, of course, same thing with acting in theater and then acting in film. You do this for years. You're bettering your craft. It can't matter the amount of training and working on what you're doing should be the goal rather than money, or it would never work in the businesses I've been in. You had to work for free for years. I mean, there are people that become PAs on movies. They work 18 hours a day for 2 months straight. A lot of them make, below minimum wage, but it's about the experience because you learn doing. And that's the trade-off. You're going to, as long as you're getting the amount of learning and craft and education and growth, you have to be okay with not being paid when you're starting out. I mean, that's just a fact.
Now, again, folks, I'm making sure we're getting this plan. Okay? Step number 1, failure is a prerequisite to success. 2, you better be able to find funny, okay? If you're going to be honest, you better be funny. 3rd, work below market. This is step number 4, okay? You want to work at market, but over-deliver. What am I saying? Napoleon Hill, the best-selling author in the history of self-help books, Napoleon Hill. I named my son after him. He says, if you over-deliver, you will get overpaid. I remember Michael Levine telling me, Clay, just wow the hell out of your customers. And I go, what? And this is how he talks. And you'll see it at the conference. He's like, wow. And it's not a big audience. There's no mic. It's him and I. I am literally from here to here. And he's like, wow the hell out of your customers. And I'm going, what? Because I'm not used to an adult in their 70s or 60s. Wow. Are you not getting, this is how he talks. Are you not getting this? I feel like, You seem like a smart guy. Do you understand English? Clay, let me write it on a piece of paper. Wow. And he's so theatrical about it. But it occurred to me, he goes, Clay, are you getting a pattern here? Because I feel like for as much as you paid, you would want to get the idea that you want to wow your customers. And I'm thinking, then my wife is kind of almost wanting to interject because she's in the room and she's watching this train wreck of a conversation. And he's going, hello, wow. And it's such a powerful, when you get the idea, he's like, aim to wow. And that's why one of my longtime clients, wintersking.com, one of the top law firms in America, wintersking.com, when I started working with them, I said, we got to send next level gift baskets to all of our clients. And they do, and they wow their customers. That's why, Mel, when I work with you or any other client on anything, I don't sit there and say, well, Mel, because I'm working on a cover, it's an extra $50 or $500 or $1,000, or because we had 2 calls this week, it's more money, or because it's just a flat rate. And all you know is this guy I'm stuck with in Tulsa, he might not be the best, but he is going to absolutely try to wow, over deliver. You've got to have that mindset. And step number 5, this is it right here. Then you get overpaid. I'll never forget it, Mel. I got a call from a real estate company and said, is this Mr. Clark? And I always answer my own phone. I freely give out my cell phone number. I'm okay with that. And I go, hello, this is Clay. And they're like, is this Mr. Clark? I'm going, yeah, it is. We'd like to hire you to speak at the real estate whatever association. And we're really excited. It's in Las Vegas at the Aria Hotel. And we wanted to, our budget, we only have $20,000 for a half hour. Could you do that?
Wow.
And I'm thinking, I think I can make it work, because I had never charged a big fee for something, I
didn't even know when I started either.
I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I remember Hewlett Packard called and said, hey, we heard that you did the work with these people over here. If we did 30,000, could we get you for a couple days? And I'm going, hello, and so at a certain point with my DJ company, you start having celebrities want you to DJ their daughter's wedding. Pretty soon, the who's who wants you to DJ their daughter's wedding. And then you get that momentum. And so, Mel, I wanted to share a quick video here with the limited time we have. This is a guy who is in that moment where he's starting to get paid. I might hit this guy up for a loan if I need money in the near term. This guy here, he is a home remodeler guy, and his name is Case Hunt. Let me pull it up here. And Case has been a client for about a year, and he's to a point now where the market is chasing him. Here we go. Case Hunt, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Connectservices.com. And I mean, we do just about anything that has to do with your home, from brand new builds to remodeling to anything in between. We'll even put windows in your house and new glass mirrors, like all of it.
How would you describe the value proposition, or maybe the value exchange of what you're paying us versus the value that we provide?
Oh gosh, well, just for starters, though, the website, the video testimonials, like all of that stuff, helps our business look legitimate. It's real easy to take 100 pictures of a job, but getting them out there where everyone can see them is just, people are very impressed with our website. The coaching, like I said, to me is invaluable on a weekly basis. Just getting, helping me get where I feel like I have a handle on things, and knowing where to invest our time and effort into making our business grow and building our brand. Like I said, we did this for a year before we started using you guys, and didn't have a single internet lead. So that right there, and I think me and Sean were talking about it today, and we got $160,000 worth of internet work in the last 6 months, something like that. So that's a pretty good ROI right there. Yeah, I started out framing houses back in the day.
And he goes on to share his story for the limited time, though. That's his website right there, connectservices.com. And so it is, and so it goes. That's how it works. That's the system. And so if you say, listen, I want to learn, earn, then return. What does that mean? I want to learn how to become successful. I want to earn some money and then return the favor via mentorship to others, or through investing in others, or being able to donate to other causes. Start the process. Somehow end the cycle of mess. Unless you're selling vacuums, stop the cycle of sucking. Now, if you sell vacuums, maybe you continue the cycle of sucking. But if you're out there today and you say, well, I just continue to lose year after year, okay? I encourage you, go to thrivetimeshow.com, find a way to get to Anaheim, California. It's going to be coming up here December 4th and 5th. That's the flyer. December 4th and 5th. Eric Trump will be in the house. Michael Levine will be there. Somehow I will sneak in. Mel K is going to be there. Julie Green, Dave Scarlett. It's going to be great. It's 2 days. There's no upselling. There's no jackassery. None of that stuff. No upselling. I'm not going to bait and switch and sell you a bunch of crap you don't need. And then, Mel, if you use promo code MELK, you get a chance to win a backstage pass. And then we have one-on-one business consulting like you just heard there, where we will work with you. We do photography, videography, web development, search engine, book layout, book design, search engine optimization, workflow mapping, accounting, bookkeeping. We do it all. It's too much. It makes me want to cry. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. And you can schedule a free consultation there. And if you use promo code MELK for any of this and for all of this, what you're doing is you're helping support the MELK Show, and we get you a great discount off of a lot of things. And if you want a one-on-one coach, we have scholarships to help out people in need. So don't be a knucklehead. Go to thrivetimeshow.com, schedule a consultation. Mel, I could not be more fired up to see you here in Anaheim. I am fired up, Mel.
Oh, I can't wait. I haven't been back to California in a long time either, so I'm very excited. I'm excited because a lot of people are going to come see us in Anaheim and say hi. Of course, I'm always happy to hang out with anyone that wants to hang out with me, so I love meeting the folks. And I like I tell everyone, the Tulsa conference blew my mind, and I know many people who did your 13-point assessment, and it totally changed their whole attitude about everything, not just business, but in general. So I'm very grateful for you helping me and Rob. You've been working with Rob and trying to help us figure out the new model of the ever-changing podcast world. And to me, I'm so grateful. You've done so much for us. And I recommend everyone out there, whether you have a dream of a business that you want to create, you have a business you want to scale up, you have a business that you think you can expand into other places or other locations or whatever, there's nobody better than Clay Clark. And many people say this. I mean, everyone on his website, you can go take a look, and me especially. So thank you so much, Clay, for coming to share with my audience. I like these every week. They're about empowering people to empower themselves, to take control of their own destiny, to be their own hero, and to not depend on anyone but you, because you have everything it takes. And Clay is great at honing that in the right direction to make it successful. So thank you, Clay Clark. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I'm working on a cover for somebody I care about a lot. And we're working on it. The team's working on it. And I'm excited for whoever this person is to love this cover. So I'll continue working behind the scenes, trying to wow this wonderful person here over the weekend. So, Mel, thank you for all you do. And we'll talk to you soon.
You too, Star. See you soon. And everyone out there, it's free. Your 13-point assessment. If you have a business plan and you've just kind of wondered what you're going to do with the rest of your life, and you're looking around and it's all confusing, get some focus. Get in touch with Clay, and it will change big time.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, well, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 in the morning. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is the creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's why I was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group I was so impressed because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to like 100% growth. Like we're like a full functioning company. It's great. Like we're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive. But I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or when was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business, or was that something that you were maybe excited about, or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're gonna fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.